Robert Eggers is back with another stylistic and unique story, this time taking on the classic character from way back when, Nosferatu. I've been hearing some raving things about this one. Is it worth the hype, or does it fall to the same artsy trap we see with these kind of movies? Let's find out in our spoiler-free review of Nosferatu. So Nosferatu is a remake of the 1922 film by the same name, except with all the iconic visuals and themes of Robert Eggers' movies. I personally have never seen the original 1922 version, so I was coming into the story and character completely blind. I know, call me uncultured. Besides liking some of Eggers' previous movies, I thought the trailer and idea of this Dracula-like figure was very interesting, especially since they did not show the title character at all in the trailer or the posters. So seeing it in the theater was the only way to actually get a good look. More movies should do this, since it creates anticipation and really hypes up the sinister nature of the character. The movie follows a haunted young woman and the terrifying vampire infatuated with her, causing untold horror in its wake. So first, let's start off with the casting. We have a loaded cast of actors that have the perfect vibe for a period piece like this, and for everyone I can remember, everyone really holds it down in this movie, from the extras to the main characters to Nosferatu himself. Count Orlok, or Nosferatu, is played by Bill Skarsgard, which you may recognize from Pennywise in the It series. So this is the second demonic-like antagonist that he plays, and he does have a knack for it. He has the look, he does act very well in terms of the voice of the character, and the movie just doesn't particularly hide him like the trailer does, but he is covered in shadows for a lot of the movie, which makes him more menacing, and is definitely a great visual tactic to add to the character. And his performance is quite good, with that thick accent that Dracula has, mixed with his demonic powers. It's definitely a highlight of the movie. The story follows two couples, really, featuring Lily Rose Depp, Nicholas Hoult, Emma Corrin, and Aaron Taylor Johnson, all very established actors. The group really does a great job, with Lily Rose Depp giving a standout performance as the woman that Nosferatu is after. The scenes where she's possessed are memorable and impactful. You truly feel the pain that she experiences from the demon, along with all the other characters. The same goes for Emma Corrin as well. Nicholas Hoult is also a central character and really holds it down. As usual, I feel like he's a great actor and he's been in a lot of different things, and the same goes with Taylor Johnson as well. Apart from those four, the movie also features Willem Dafoe as a central character, as a professor slash witch hunter type. He is an incredible actor, absolutely goated in my opinion, and as well as that, he has the perfect look and sound for a movie like this. He was born to play sort of these period pieces, and you've seen him in other Robert Eggers movies as well. So all in all, the actors really do a great job and sell the harsh and sinister reality of the movie along with the period. Visually, the movie looked incredible. Many of the scenes are draped with this almost black and white coloring like nighttime, which really gives it a menacing look and makes it a faithful remake, since it's a nod to the original Nosferatu movie, which had no color in it at all. The shadow work and the camera motions make you feel like you were right there with the cast. As a period piece, this one really looked beautiful throughout, had a very vintage aesthetic to it, one that fits perfectly with a demonic and unsettling tale like this one. This worked especially well when they were close to Nosferatu. The prosthetics and makeup on the character are super well done. His long fingers, even that's just very unsettling. He is a towering figure throughout the movie, and his presence is known, almost like a shadow in any scene that he's in. Without giving anything away, of course, Nosferatu was a lot more sinister and evil than I would have anticipated, which really makes you feel for the characters as you see the toll and grief that it brings upon them, pretty much everyone involved. For me, this is one of the most effective parts of the movie, as you really see the reactions and aftermath of all the horror that's happening. One of my biggest gripes for the movie, however, and what really sets it apart from being a great movie, was the pacing. While they had a story to tell, an exposition to set, there's a lot of things that they have to cover, so I understand that. But I did feel like the middle section of the movie really began to drag a bit, and as a viewer, I felt it, and you never want to be feeling that while you're watching. There's a few things set up later on that I was really wondering how they were going to get to with the time left. This may be because it is a slower paced movie, but I unfortunately felt like it did drag in some parts. While it always is hard to take out some scenes for the overall movie, I do feel like there were a couple of moments that I could have seen being removed. And just for the record, I have absolutely no problem with longer movies or slower paced movies at all. But all I ask is that I don't feel that while I'm watching it. I also wish that they showed more of the hunting parts and perhaps made more of a plot out of that. I understand that the movie is supposed to be more of a slower burn that really gets under your skin, and for the most part it does just that. But I can't say that I enjoyed some of the parts as much as I wanted to. Robert Eggers is one of those directors that will always bring a level of strange and surreal to his movies, and this one is no different. And I really have to applaud him for that because it really sets him apart from a lot of directors. This one is more grounded compared to his other works like The Lighthouse or The Witch, but it's exactly the kind of movie that should be under him as a director. Another element I wish that they used more of was the music. There's a great track at the very end of the movie, the climax part if you will, and apart from this, the soundtrack is very minimal, and it gets kind of forgotten in the backdrop from what I remember. Maybe it's the visuals that really are taken away from it if you will, or rather more of the focus, which I understand, but I just wish they would have utilized that a little bit more because from what I heard, the soundtrack is actually quite good and very menacing. But this is pretty small in the grand scheme of things. I mean, I don't take off too many pointers for that. That was just a personal thing I wish they would have done more of. But back to the positives, Nosferatu does an amazing job at capturing that 1800s look and is technically very impressive. Everything from the clothes to the architecture of the city in Orlok's castle to the interior designs of the houses, it's very accurate and really immerses the audience in the dark and snowy lands of Germany. It is also depicted in a way that the characters speak with each other, that prim and proper sort of old English style that they have going on, which personally I find very satisfying to listen to, and I might steal some of the phrases that they use, not going to lie, even if I'll get some stares for doing so. But in a design element, if you will, maybe not so technically speaking of it, in a design way, I think that Nosferatu really does shine. Everyone's on top of their game. Very, very high quality as you would imagine in a movie like this. So all in all though, there are some good things to say about the movie, and I can understand why people really like this one a lot. If you're a fan of the 1800s sort of era and Robert Eggers' previous movies, alongside that sort of Dracula aesthetic, then you're gonna definitely like this one. It's visually stunning, has great performances, and a chilling Nosferatu played by Skarsgard really make the movie one to watch. But for me personally, the pacing and just some of the screen time of the movie drops it down a few pegs. It really did feel like it started to drag at a later point. So for me, Nosferatu gets a respectable, not bad, but a respectable 7.5 out of 10. Did you like the movie? Let me know below what you thought of it, and make sure to like this video and hit that notification bell to stay up to date with the latest reviews, rants, videos just like this. Thank you very much for watching. All the support is always appreciated, and I'll catch you on the next review.